Hi, I'm Nancy Blotner. At Caldwell University, we believe that all citizens should be informed about the important issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of Caucus New Jersey has been provided by the PNC Foundation, which supports early childhood education through Grow Up Great, a multi-year initiative to help prepare children from birth to age 5 for success in school and life. The New Jersey Education Association, New Jersey Sharing Network, Caldwell University, PSE&G, JFK Medical Center, and by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by bestofnj.com, covering all New Jersey has to offer.
Welcome to Caucus, New Jersey. I'm Steve Adubato. Early childhood education is changing, and teachers need to be more creative now more than ever to keep their young students excited about learning. Joining me in the studio are 4 educational innovators who know an awful lot about early childhood education. They are Nicole Langdo, founding director at the Painted Oak Nursery School and Kindergarten. Benjamin Joseph, media specialist at Walnut Ridge Primary School. Susan Peron is Assistant Superintendent and Chief Academic Officer for Paterson Public Schools. And finally, Joanna Borowski, Manager of Education and Community Engagement for New Jersey Symphony Orchestra. And I thank all of you for joining us to talk about early childhood education. It has changed. Has it changed dramatically over, let's say, just the last 10 years? Who says it's changed dramatically?
Yes. I think all of us have to say it changes dramatically.
Biggest changes?
I think the biggest changes for my students in the Media Center are that they're coming to school more excited about technology. They have the basic skills, but there's a lot of time invested at home around technology, and it's my excitement in making that a tool for students in the classroom.
So let's deal with technology for a little bit. Has technology been the primary driving force in the biggest changes around early childhood education?
Well, technology at our school looks very different than probably as it does for Benjamin. So at our school, the children are outside every day.
How dare they be?
In all weather.
Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Because?
Because children need to be outside learning. Whatever we can do in the classroom, we can take outside. There is more of an increase in childhood obesity and ADHD and these kinds of things that are consequences of indoor-only environments. So we're trying to balance some of that. And
is there a role for technology?
Is there a role?
Is there a role at your place in early childhood education for technology?
Yes,
what
absolutely. So our children have vocabulary around it. They see teachers with their phones documenting their play constantly and what they're doing, and then parents get an email at night with all the photos from the day. So the children have an awareness around the communication piece that technology is used for communication, to the point where they'll even say if they've built a structure outside, or we do have an indoor classroom too, so if they've built something or drawn something and they want to show mom or dad at night, they'll ask us to take a picture of it. We do use webcams to help them see, for example, birds that are nesting and babies that are being born that they wouldn't otherwise be able to see. But it's limited. It is limited, yes, absolutely.
Jump in on the technology side.
In our classrooms, in our classrooms, we incorporate technology as a part of the curriculum, but it is limited and it is balanced, right? So we time kids. We'll have a 3-year-old on the computer for about 15 minutes. Although we have fascinating apps and programs for them that they really do enjoy, we know it's not appropriate for them to be in front of a computer for the entire day or for more than an hour or half hour even. So 15 minutes, 20 minutes is really the time limit that we give them. And it's enough time for them to become engaged into an app, learn something, counting, you know, their letters, they review things like that. But
not for entertainment.
Not for entertainment. Usually it, you know, it can go both ways. It is entertaining in that it's colorful, it's exciting, it's musical.
Learning can be entertaining, no?
Yes,
Can it?
It should be.
Should be.
Yeah.
And on the musical side of it, while music is an oral tradition, and that in itself, there's a beauty in that. But we're on the other side of technology in that we're inspiring and really engaging the students to be more creative, and they're going to be the content creators of the technology that's constantly changing.
What I was inspired by Nicole's program when I was researching it before the show, I feel that at my own heart, right? Kids need to be outside. But I think more so, to link with the technology piece in the classroom, is that what we need to do is make students feel active participants in their own world. So if that's getting outside, we need to do more of that as well. But active participants in the computer systeming of technology, coding, is just as new as it needs to be in the 21st century.
For example, give us a concrete example of the use of technology in an early childhood setting that you say, this is innovative, it's compelling, it's important, and it's a best practice from your perspective.
So I really would like to tell you a few, but I do GoPros with students, so strapping on a little camera for them to show the procedures that they do through the day. And then yes, I edited that back at home, but what students have is then a resource on the website for parents to log on and say, I'm gonna teach you today what it was that we learned about entering a library, about checking out books. I have 3D video cameras that kids can actually pause the camera and flip through what our library looks like. We have a tree house that's built up into the library so students can feel that pleasure of becoming a reader by building their reading muscles. So we still have all that fun experience, but we're linking things such as green screening, we're linking robotics, all to just make it a tangible resource so that when we get older, we might be making our own technology as form of music or different variations.
React to that.
I think that's an excellent point, and from my perspective, having those resources, kind of the world available at your fingertips, shows the students what's possible. So in a young classroom, we might be able to show them a video of Sarah Chang playing, and then we bring out a violin and say, touch this, feel this, try playing it. And then we can take them to a concert hall and they can see her playing, and it just kind of creates that through line, and the access and the possibility are really what we're giving them.
Let me ask you this. An urban versus a non-urban environment, be it a rural or suburban environment, any significant differences in early childhood education, best practices, and also innovation in urban? You're in an urban situation versus any other situation. Jump in. What are your thoughts?
I think a huge difference is the diversity that we see. We have many kids that come into our classrooms with a wide variety of languages, which is a wonderful thing. They bring in different culture and different languages and all of that. I think that is an advantage that brings out the experiences and the different opportunities and activities that can happen in a classroom. And so just that alone, and the fact that, you know, these kids have come into the classroom for the first time, you know, being at home, opening up their world into having the opportunity for computers, having the opportunity to go to music, and even experiences such as field trips to a theater. Those are just wonderful activities that we do in early childhood. We also bring in yoga into the classroom. So, I mean, just all of the different rich experiences.
For 3 to 5-year-olds?
For 3 to 5-year-olds.
Yoga?
Yes.
You do it as well? Or you do it outside?
We do. Well, so we do have classes inside too, but we aim to have the children outside for at least half of their day.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And during our forest school program, we hope for 90 to 100% of their day.
Hold on, your what school?
Forest School.
You have to explain that.
So Forest School is a special class, if you will, I guess, a day set aside for each of our classes, and I lead groups into the woods. And we have lessons in the forest. They carry their backpacks with everything they need, water and lunch and snacks and things, and we hike into the woods, and they play and learn about their environment.
What time of the year?
All year,
So hold on a
including the
second.
snow,
And you're located where?
in Hopewell, New Jersey.
So in January, February, they're out there.
Yes, so we don't take them outside in single digits.
Got it.
It will get pretty cold before we won't go out. That's with wind chill. And we also pay attention to their skin and all of the signs that we need to head back to school.
You got me thinking about something here, Nicole, which is the role of parents. A certain kind of parent with a certain kind of child will opt for such an environment, correct?
Yes, yes. Our parents are extremely supportive. The children need a lot of gear to support the program, and they get really dirty. So washing machines also support our program.
But they have, but
the
they have to
parents,
want
yes.
their child to
They
be
do.
outside having these experiences.
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting. One of the other things that struck me in preparation for the program is this constant theme that kept coming out. PNC talks about growing up great. We want all of our children to grow up to be great, or to be as great as they can be. Building self-confidence. How much of early childhood education is ultimately about building that self-esteem, that self-confidence, regardless of the methodology that one uses to achieve that?
I was hoping you'd direct that towards me, because I think I'm the benefit of that in my own educational
How so?
career. I think I've had a lot of great teachers along the way, but there's those few teachers that really connected to who I was as a person, that wanted to draw more out of me.
Even in pre-K?
I have to say that my memories of school kind of go with the moving that I did. My dad was military. I had the benefit of working with Mr. Rick Wormley, who is a Disney Teacher of the Year, who's now running circuits for, working with administration within schooling. But he was such a fundamental person in my life of saying, you have such great talents, and then just pull them from you. And when my kindergartners walk in, I say, I'm so excited to see you. But is it okay if I treat you like second graders this year? I'm really going to want to challenge you to do what you can do. And we talk about reading our reading muscles and growing our reading muscles. And those things are exciting for kids when they can go home and teach a new thing that they tried that day.
I'm going to go around. We're going to keep talking about this issue of self-confidence. I want to take a quick break, give you a chance to get your thoughts together. Growing up great, innovation in early childhood education as we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
To see more Caucus New Jersey with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are talking about early childhood education. Right before we went out to this break, we were talking about building self-confidence. Building self-confidence.
So the beauty of early childhood, I think, that leads into academic and cognitive growth is the social emotional piece. It really is the most crucial learning in the classroom. And I think if you agree with me, most of our programs are centered around the child's interest. It's what they want to do. It's how we can feed into their curiosity and their exploration. So we're constantly telling them in the classroom, what is it that you're interested in? What was the best part of this story? Why did you like it? So it's always about them, and about what they're curious and learning about and what they want to do. And I believe that learning how to get along, learning how to take a turn, how to self-regulate that behavior, those are really all really, really important strategies to have when you get into college, right? And when you get into a job. And so we start from day one, teaching about how you feel, why you're important to us, what are you thinking, can I hear what you have to say?
So stay on that. Getting children 3 to 5 years of age to speak up, to want to be heard, building that self-confidence to do that, which is a lifelong skill, right? I coach and train people in my other life who at 50 haven't been able to figure out how to do it or are afraid to do it, or I watch in the studio, sweaty palms, freaked out, can't pull it off, or don't think they can, and all of a sudden they find that confidence somewhere. And I'm saying, can't we help them at 3 to 5, you say?
I think it's essential to do it at 3 to 5 because that's when they're really learning, and the formative years aspect of it. With the NJSO preschool program.
New Jersey Symphony Orchestra.
Correct.
Not everyone knows the acronym, sorry.
Sorry, we're so acronym focused. The New Jersey Symphony Orchestra preschool program, we want to engage and inspire them and excite them, because most of them, 70% of the teachers who we go into their classrooms say, this is the first time our kids have ever seen an instrument. And going back to the idea of experiences, that's what stays with you.
And those are Newark kids, a lot of them are Newark kids, right?
Yes, the program is designed for preschools in Newark.
And how does that connect to self-confidence?
It's because it's showing them what's possible, and they can take it and go with it, and it's something that becomes theirs in a way that they might not have otherwise, because they don't have access to extracurriculars, music, arts in general, nature in some cases.
Does it help them see what's possible outside of the world they're living in?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And it creates the feelings that they can be leaders, and that they can help their community, and that they can grow up and become anything they want to. And that's one of the beautiful things about the arts is it gives them the self-confidence, but it gives them the tools to be anything they want to be.
Talk about how you and your colleagues help build self-confidence in these very young leaders.
Yes, well, for us, just having children outside in what could be considered risky type of play, climbing trees. We do let them climb trees. There are structures and rules to staying safe within that. But when you see a 3-year-old who's been at our school since they were 2 get off the ground on their own,
right?
It's a huge milestone for them. It's a huge moment of confidence building, because their body has to be able to do it themselves. A teacher will not put them up in a tree. A friend won't help them. Could coach them. We'll have some children who are already coordinated enough and maybe a little bit older up in the tree saying, well, grab there and now try this and then pull up. So the cooperation leading to the you can do this, we're behind you, is huge for them at 3 and 4. So yeah, I think it's absolutely built into our program.
Along the same lines, for parents, what advice do you have for parents of those in early childhood education? What can parents do to supplement, to complement, to support these initiatives? I'm curious about this because very often as parents, we wind up telling our kids how great they are, how terrific they are, and too often that they're the best, when often they're not. We actually know objectively that they're not, but we say it anyway. Then soon enough they find out that they're not because they're compared to others soon enough, and they find out. So it's my long-winded way of asking this question. How can we as parents support the work of the best early childhood innovators like yourselves without telling our kids how great they are all the time, which isn't so great? Jump in.
I would say that from what I heard from what we were sharing before about students having the time to practice new skills and build things and experience the world in a social setting, that's happening in the classroom, but parents that ask questions and they have family time for reading and they sit down at the table and discuss things at night, those are your chances for the student to rehash what they did that day or share those new things that they've learned and build that self-confidence from home, because that's the safest part for a student to go to. And so when they come back in the next day, they're fresh for something new. And I think that as parents, finding those times for real family spent time to talk and ask what interests you.
And by the way, can we stay on that for a second? I hate to go back to the technology part, because it is technology that often does get in the way, or our interaction with technology that does get in the way of our face-to-face communication with our children. And we are as guilty as anyone very often with our obsessions with our handheld devices or television or whatever. What advice do we have around that?
Unplug.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Say
what
it
I was
again.
going to say.
Unplug.
Yes.
Unplug and really be present with your child, and with whatever interests them, whatever they are trying to do, trying to experience.
And if they are stuck with their head and face playing some game for a disproportionate amount of time, get them unplugged. Make it clear to them that we want to have a conversation. We want to know what they did in their class today, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think one of the things I always say, right, and I'm a mom to adult children now, but you have to set some boundaries, right? So if it's around the table that we're going to have dinner, you know, there's a basket, drop your device there. Know that this time is our time, and it's talk time. And so
Talk time.
It's talk time.
And listen.
And listen, yep. And so, you know, I think there's a balance in life, in everything we do.
Yes.
And so that is something that we do have to set clear. Kids are really good with limits. We just have to give them those limits. And sometimes, you know, just being proactive, just letting them know what the expectation is up front, they'll pretty much go with it. Because that's the way they'll learn. And so we put, you know, we put it away. This is what we do now. This is reading time. You know, set up a special place at home for them, so they have that space and they know that that space is a space where mom and dad or grandma and me can sit down and read a book or even tell a story and listen to a story.
And in turn, what all of that's doing is building this idea of digital citizenship in our own world.
Digital citizenship.
We need to be digital citizens. That means we need to use technology to enhance the world around us instead of blocking it out from us.
Give us an example.
In terms of what my students do, I think that we've actually worked into blogging, which is sharing some of the things. So different experiences, we might go out and do sidewalk chalk or read books outdoors, and it's a chance for us to come back in and relate what we did maybe through some digital media. I think that my most fun I'm having right now in my classroom is augmented and virtual reality. So we might not be able to go to the coral reef, but we can put the virtual reality cardboard on and we can see what that looks like. And it makes us ask questions. And then sharing that material, that knowledge, might have started from a book and might have started from a question, but now we're starting to see that technology is a tool in our lives. So
As opposed to our lives.
well, opposed to it just being there. Right?
As opposed to thinking that that is our life.
It's very true. It's very true. And so what my students are now doing is making spaces, and they're being in part of STEAM, or STEM is popular right now. So science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. But it's built in my classroom around maker spaces. So here's a problem. Put together some sequential ordering, problem solving, critical thinking, and now share it out with your friends. And it done in the correct way, it really works well.
Let me ask you, in the time we have left, how much do you love what you do?
I can't imagine doing anything else.
Because?
Well, I personally love being outside. I feel like I can breathe when I'm outside. And working with young children, they also breathe better outside. They work better together. They are more mindful and more aware of where they are in the world, not just their little, neighborhood or environment, but they have a better connection of themselves holistically. So, yeah, I love giving them the tools to feel safe in their environment, to feel empowered to teach their parents the plants that they've learned today.
Yes.
You love it. 1 to 10.
Passionate, so 10.
10, no doubt.
No doubt.
Love it.
Absolutely. Music is my life, has been since I can remember.
And with these kids?
And being able to bring that to them and share that with them is indescribable. I love what I do, so I'm alive.
Here in Paterson, how much you love being with these kids?
I absolutely love it. I wouldn't be anywhere else. I think that the opportunity to work with them, and at that level, 3 and 5, it's so energetic. It's so much fun.
Okay.
I absolutely love it.
I think we already know for you.
I'd say the exciting part for me, these students are our leaders in 2029.
We'll keep talking off the air.
The preceding program has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence, and 13 for WNET, NJTV, and WHYY. Funding for this edition of Caucus New Jersey has been provided by the PNC Foundation, the New Jersey Education Association, New Jersey Sharing Network, Caldwell University, PSE&G, JFK Medical Center, and by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. Caucus New Jersey has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.